What's up guys, this is Darkbblue, a gamer who loves Souls-like games, looter games, and every game that involves build making. I have been a fan of From Software from Dark Souls 1. I thought I could be counted as an old fan of From Software, but now since the newest Armored Core 6 is released, only AC fans are the true old fans. Well, I know, it's meaningless to try to be an old fan as it doesn't give me any privilege. I say that just to catch your eyes. But there is another concern. Maybe this identity can grant me a unique perspective. How will a Dark Souls fan see Armored Core 6? So this video is based on my experience in the first 3 chapters. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Now let's dive right into it. First I want to say, although I know Armored Core is very different from Soul series, I do feel something familiar in this game. And how come? I think the answer is that From Software Soul series contains both the so-called Souls flavor and something unique about From Software, the difference of which has always been hard to tell. I have played not only From Software Souls games but also many Souls-like games. I will explain my understanding of Souls games in the future when Lies of P is released, but for now let me just give you a briefing. To simply put it, Souls games are based on the Souls framework, but this framework itself is not fun. It's what you put into it that makes the game interesting. From Software has put high-quality maps, arts, and stories, which is adopted by almost every Souls game. But From Software has also put strategic combat into it, which is a much rarer feature among Souls games. And FS implements it through complex yet systematic enemy mechanics, which is only adopted by FS. So this is the something unique about From Software, other than the general Souls flavor. If you have only played Dark Souls in a sword and shield style, these mechanics may not be noticeable to you. So to catch you up, let me show you some examples. You may have spent much time memorizing how to dodge every attack of the bosses in Bloodborne, but for a player familiar with how to break body parts, it is possible to stun lock them. A base vultures may feel tough at first glance, but you can stun lock them with impact mechanic. And in Sekiro, you can not only time your parry but also control your enemy's attack pattern. I have seen some Armored Core fans saying that Armored Core is about building your mech strategically in order to overcome various fights. I have to say this sounds so familiar to me, so similar to what I have always been doing in Dark Souls. Then I realized that the unique combat design of Dark Souls must have to do with From Software's experience accumulated from AC series. Since I love the strategic combat in Dark Souls, Armored Core must be a good option for me. So that's my feeling as an old Dark Souls fan. Armored Core is not a Souls game, but it definitely shares the same combat design style, which emphasizes strategies. When I wrote the first edition of the script, I was more than half through the campaign. As you know, I'm a totally new player to AC series, but I do find it easy to learn everything. So how do I make it? First, there are many tutorials, both in the first mission and in the training sector. They provide me with abundant basic knowledge, which I just write down so that I can refer to it. These tutorials also cover some very basic strategies, like the pros and cons of different legs. Though they are preliminary, they do offer me a start point to think of strategies. Also, Armored Core 6 has implemented a very useful helping function via which I can know the meaning of these stats. I use it mainly in the assembly menu and it does help me a lot in understanding this system. All in all, despite that I'm a totally new player to AC series, I am learning everything really fast. and I believe this is possible for other new players as well. In conclusion, I am really having fun in Armored Core 6. It's not Souls, but it's the same old strategic combat offered by From Software. If you like my story and if you want to join me into depths of games, just like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, see you around.